Kevin Warren, Ryan Poles, Thomas Brown, they all sat down and met with the media today in a press conference at Highlands Hall. And after watching the press conference, I don't know how many of us feel more comfortable with the current direction of the Bears. But one thing is crystal clear. Thomas Brown is that dude. Stay tuned. Welcome to Bears Yard, the home of opinionated Chicago Bears talk. This your boy Vipe, and Kevin Warren kicked off the press conference today. Now, watching this press conference, it was immediately evident to anybody watching and listening that Kevin Warren is starting to take more of a front man role within the organization. Up until now, he's kind of been in the background working on the stadium. We didn't really know what Kevin Warren's role was within this organization, but after the press conference today, it is clear as day that he is the man who will be spearheading the search for the next head coach. Even though he did say that when it comes down to the final say of who gets hired, that will still lie at the feet of Ryan Poles. But if you watch the press conference and just took in the tone and the vibe of the press conference, Ryan Poles was sitting there like he got his hand slapped, like he got his hand caught in a cookie jar, like somebody took his dog away. Ryan Poles looked very defeated and dejected today at the press conference. So it really brings into question who has the actual ultimate control of hardcore decisions in the organization. And for my money right now, that is Kevin Warren. Now, say what you want about that. Some people like that, some people don't. Ryan Poles will still be involved, but it seems like Kevin Warren is running the show from this point forward. I don't really care who runs the show. I just want them to get it right. Warren also mentioned that the Bears' job will be the most coveted head coaching opening this season, and I believe he's right. But he listed off assets like tradition and the fans and the salary cap. And while those are all nice and cuddly, if I'm a coach looking at this job, I'm looking at Caleb Williams, I'm looking at the ascending defense, I'm looking at things like that. The salary cap is third for me, but Caleb Williams is first and foremost your biggest asset, Kevin Warren. The thing about being a successful head coach in the NFL is having that franchise quarterback in place. And the Bears have that with Caleb Williams, which makes this the most attractive opening in my opinion. Now, there were some things that happened on Friday that kind of make this opening a little less attractive, if you believe the media. And that was the fact that Matt Eberflus was still allowed to hold a press conference on Friday and only 2 hours later get fired. And we're all wondering, why would you let him talk about that? So let's listen to Kevin Warren's explanation of what happened on Friday afternoon. Kevin, talk to us.
When Coach Eberflus had his press conference, we had not made a final decision. And I think you know me. I think you know Ryan. I think you know Georgia McCaskey. And I think you know the McCaskey family. If one thing we stand for is family and integrity and doing it the right way. In retrospect, could we have done it better? Absolutely. And I'll be the first one to raise my hand, yes. But during his press conference and even a couple hours later, we had not reached a decision. But on the flip side of it, something that was important to us is that once we reached the decision, we wanted to make sure to talk with Matt about that so he could have the respect to be able to call his family. And I'll say this, one thing that happened, this is the first time, and it happens around the league a lot, where a head coach will find out he's terminated, and he finds out before he's told from the organization, and that's something that we promised that we weren't going to do. So in retrospect, could we have done better? Yes. But we were trying to be respectful, and we did not know our decision when he started his press conference.
Wait. Time out. Matt Eberflus, look at this. Time out. So what you're telling me, Kevin Warren, is that Matt Eberflus found out from social media that he got fired before y'all told him? You gotta be kidding me. Bro, this is why people say that the Bears organization is a mom and pop shop that's not run properly. How can you fire a guy and he doesn't find out before he finds out on social media? He found out on the internet before you told him. How? Be that as it may, ultimately, a serious head coach is not really going to look at that too much as it relates to being interested in this opening. There are far too many more pros than cons as it relates to being a head coach of the Chicago Bears other than what happened on Friday. Is it a bad look? Sure. But I think the media is slightly overblowing it, but it is a bad look. And especially hearing now that he didn't find out from them first, he found out from the internet. That's unprofessional, fam. Do better, Kevin. Do better, Ryan. As far as what Kevin Warren is looking for in his next coach, he's looking for accountability, a decisive decision maker, somebody that has extremely high standards, all this stuff. Oh, and a leader of men. You're going to hear that a lot. And I don't really take too much stock in the whole leader of men trope, but that's what they're looking for. That brings us to Ryan Poles. Again, he was more just like the child sitting next to Warren who was in trouble. His face just looked terrible. He didn't have good body language. He looked like he was dejected. But he did say that the cause of Eberflus being let go was delayed game situations and different things like that. And, Ryan Poles didn't have too much to say other than that and how they're going to be looking forward to the next coach, this, that, and the other. But the star of the show, Thomas Brown, the brand new interim head coach of the Chicago Bears. That man came in like a house of fire within 2 minutes. I knew that man has the juice. When that man walks into a room and starts talking, you know that you are going to run through a brick wall for him. He ain't going to be able to galvanize these players, galvanize this organization, and these next 5 games are going to be highly, highly entertaining and must-see TV with Thomas Brown being the interim head coach and now head coach. So what changes with that? Well, he joked that he thought about coaching from that booth, but obviously you can't be a head coach from the booth, and he joked, but he knows he's coming down to the sideline to be a head coach. He also promoted wide receiver coach Chris Beatty to be the new offensive coordinator, but Thomas Brown will still call the offensive plays, so no worries there. Obviously, Eric Washington is going to be the defensive coordinator. He was actually the defensive coordinator in name, but now he's going to call plays. So that's going to be handled. Obviously, Richard Hightower will still handle special teams. So not much is changing. And when people asked about how the change will affect Thomas Brown's relationship with Caleb Williams, he even said himself, not much is going to change. His schedule's not going to change. He said he's not a micromanager. He said that he's going to let the defense and special team coaches handle their units. He's still going to be primarily focused on the offense. And the day-to-day with Caleb is not going to change much for Thomas Brown. So what does Thomas Brown want to accomplish? What does he feel should be the Bears' identity when they get off the bus and roll into whoever stadium they roll into? Thomas Brown, hit us up.
Football's a violent game. It rewards those that play the game violently. So physical at every position is going to be our mentality. That starts this week against San Fran, to kind of prize themselves and built a great job throughout the years of building a roster that kind of fits that mold, of being aggressive at all phases, of kind of a attacking mentality. So it starts there for us. That's a non-negotiable.
Boom! Physical. San Francisco 49er physical. The old 49ers. Not these new 49ers. They look a little soft these days. Not these new fools, but the old school 49ers. Back when Singletary and Harbaugh were running the show. Thomas Brown said football's a violent game, and it rewards violence. So the Bears are going to definitely be more physical. And if you take anything away from his personality and the way that he leads, man, they are definitely going to be a lot more physical than what we've seen under the Eberflus era. I am so excited about Thomas Brown taking over. I feel like he's going to do very well these next 5 games, and he's going to give them a real hard decision to make when it's all said and done as to who will run this team. You cannot overlook Thomas Brown, people. I'm telling you right now. I know it's pretty early on, and nothing has really begun yet. But in my opinion, the next Bears head coach comes down to a 3-horse race. Thomas Brown, Ben Johnson, Mike Vrabel. Those are the 3 names that I will be looking at closely. Those are the ones that I feel like the Bears should strongly consider. Obviously, Ben Johnson, with the crazy amount of success that he's had with the Detroit Lions being their OC for the past few years. Mike Vrabel is a leader of men and had a moderate amount of success with the Tennessee Titans when he was there. So I would definitely consider him, and he's still 49. He's still young enough. He's still in the know enough. And obviously, Thomas Brown. Thomas Brown is going to be a coaching superstar in this league, if not with the Bears, with another team. I kind of hope he's with the Bears because I don't want to see us let him go, and then he goes off somewhere else and becomes Mike Tomlin 2.0, has 18 winning seasons in a row, wins a Super Bowl title, and he could have been the Bears head coach. I feel like Thomas Brown had great things ahead for him. I feel like the Bears should really, really take him seriously these next 5 games. And if he does continue to mesh well with Caleb and the team as a whole responds positively to him, his leadership, you really got to really think about elevating him to permanent head coach of your Chicago Bears. Also, the advantage that Thomas Brown has is that you get to see him for the next 5 weeks in a head coaching role. If you consider somebody like a Ben Johnson or Liam Cohen or any of these other hot name coordinators out there, you will not know how they handle the coordinator/head coaching role, but you will have that inside knowledge with Thomas Brown. So that will definitely be an advantage that he has coming into this job. But let me know, Bear fans, who are your top 3 choices for a head coach? Who do you want to see the Bears look at? Drop a comment and keep it locked to the yard for all things Chicago Bears.